Good afternoon. I hope everyone is having a good day. My name is Alok and I am in IAH 204. So today I'm going to be talking about anime's role in Japan and in the West. I will talk about how Japan was able to change their national image, through anime. Here's my thesis. After Japan's defeat during World War II, anime served as a healer for Japan's national image by further integrating them into the Western world through its unique visual styles and its universal storytelling. Before we talk about anime as a whole, let's talk about manga. Now, manga is a Japanese word for curious sketches. Before anime became mainstream, the beginnings and characteristics of it came from manga books. As we can see here, the eyes are a distinguishable part of this girl's face, and that all of the characters, if you notice, are all shown very up close. These are two main characteristics shown in anime films. And this photo here is a scene from Attack on Titan, and that the golden lines often symbolize here, time, often symbolize Ymir's, the subjects of Ymir across time and space, and they're often used to symbolize power, especially in general. For example, if we can see the storm clouds over here, and they typically show if a scene is going to be dark, the character gets a bit bulkier, more intimidating, and the golden lines here basically mean that they're about to perform their superpower, which is basically really animated well, in the modern anime films. Now, one misconception I'd like to clear up is that anime and manga are in fact not the same, but many anime are often based on their counterpart manga books. So, as discussed during class, the earliest form of manga occurred during the Edo period with the creation of what is called hokusai manga. In these books, illustrations cover daily life, nature, and mythical creatures. And this picture on the left page of the book, this is a picture of what looks like a mythological creature. And it has distinguishable characteristics like the eye is kind of red and everything, it's, long hair over here, and, and often it's looking often bigger than, the person right here. But from this scene itself, we could interpret it as, a mythological creature coming out of nowhere trying to scare this guy. Or, it could be, or you could visualize this as, the mythological creature secretly talking in this guy's head, which is also another possible, conclusion we can make. As, as it can be really visualized in possibly any way, without, with the lack of text, shown in the book. And on the left here is the story called Norakuro, which itself is an anime, but it's basically its own manga book. And it was used as Japanese propaganda during World War II, as they show, the honor of fighting in the Japanese army. And it talks about how a dog named Norakuro getting promoted gradually from private to captain, and it eventually became, a centerpiece of, trying to get people, to enlist in the Japanese army, And so as we can see here, he's like dressed up as your typical Japanese soldier, with the warplanes flying and, the army over here. So it was created in about 1930. After World War II, Japan was destroyed spiritually and its national image was tarnished. In 1988, an early anime film called Grave of Butterflies was released. The story talks about two orphans who are siblings named Saita, who is the older brother, and Setsuko, who is the younger sister. The mom passed away early, and their dad was a captain in the Japanese army, so they had to live with their aunt. And what happened was really sad. Their aunt kicked them out, and they had to adjust, to the harsh, conditions in which they had to live with, with the lack of food, with planes often, bombing all the time. So it really tells the story of, what people had to go through in mainland Japan. And we can see that, the cover itself, is very dark, and, the bushes here are looking, red and everything. It really just shows what the last few months in Japan were like before, the war ended. And then another series I'd like to talk about is Astro Boy, which is a manga that did get published as an anime, and it's been adapted into 3 anime series. Astro Boy is a science fiction series where robots coexist with humans. In the story, he is portrayed as almost a super robot with powers such as 100k horsepower, strength, jet flight, adjustable hearing, and a high IQ, determining good versus evil. Themes in the series involve anti-war sentiments, prejudice, robot discrimination, all basically what the creator went through. The creator of the book went through post World War II. Now let's talk about Japanese themes that are often discussed with mainstream anime. So first, let's talk about the anime in the previous slide, Grave of Fireflies. Gammon, which talks about values like resilience or self-restraint, are often really present here. An example talked about is Saita's efforts to take care of his younger sister, Setsuko. Despite scarce conditions, he was willing to go all in for her, despite that they were in a very scarce and harsh environment. Like, he would not leave her behind. And which really reflects, a theme of, perseverance, staying, with your loved ones, staying close to your loved ones. In Naruto, a theme present is Va, which means harmony. An example that is demonstrated is his relationship with the Winetails sprint, the Kurama, also called the Kurama. He at first Naruto saw him as an enemy in earlier seasons, but over time he eventually became friends with him, learning about his sad history. And in AOT, which is Attack on Titan, for clarification, Mikasa, who was the main character Eren's lover, she was able to stay with him by love and by a sense of desire. And after Eren passed away, she continued to live a long time, still wearing the exact scarf, that Eren scarf. So, anime has played a very crucial role in Japanese society and helped it develop tremendously, especially after the 1950s. So, in this picture here is Shinjuku, which is Tokyo's red light district. And here, there are often anime characters, present here. And, a lot of the advertisements often contain anime characters, which really shows, how much anime has made its way through Japanese society. And it's even in vending machines. We have 2 anime girls here, and that are on the vending machine here, and there are a lot of anime cafes like the Pokemon Cafe, which is a popular place in Tokyo, and it really became really a cultural norm, the cafes in Japan. And this mural of this mural of anime characters on the Tokyo subway really shows how much it has like fully integrated, and how people see anime characters basically everywhere they go on a day-to-day basis. Now let's discuss Western themes discussed with mainstream animes. And this anime on the top left called in the blue text called Genshiken, it talks about a college club called an otaku, and they're basically obsessed with anime and the lifestyle. Some themes discussed in this show are like finding oneself, and has an overall American university experience of joining the club. Everybody's clothes you can see are Western, and their faces look like they're very open people. On the bottom left, the show Cowboy Bebop has themes such as Lawless Frontier and the Pursuit of the Last Pass, which are basically it's a whole Wild West themed. And finally, we have One Piece, which is also celebrates the Western pirate culture. So basically, what the story is about Monkey D. Luffy, who is shown up in the front, and his crew, the Straw Hat Pirates, and how they explore the Grand Line to become, the king of the pirates. So how he explores the Grand Line to find the treasure that would make him king of all the pirates. Anime has also really integrated really well into American society. And so the two main anime fests are Anime Fest itself, which is in Fort Worth, Texas, which is shown on the on the bottom picture actually, and Anime Expo in Los Angeles, California, which is shown right here. And there's even, a good presence of anime shows, anime stores, and especially the popular one, Anime Fix, which is in the Mall of America in Minnesota. And so it really shows, how, many Americans and many people in the West have, taken to anime to the point where it's, getting more views than, Western, comics and shows. And so let's talk about the overall significance. In Japan, 40% of consumers watch anime out of a population of 125 million. And in the United States, 36% of consumers watch anime out of a population of 330 million people. And this means more people in the United States watch anime than in Japan itself, which is crazy. And this picture here shows the depiction of, an anime billboards over here, and this is taken in Times Square, New York City. And to conclude, anime has made overall a huge impact both in Asia and around the world, and its influence and popularity are going to keep on climbing. Anime has managed to slowly heal Japan's national image and has helped them to further integrate with the Western world. And their unique visual styles further helped present a new way of reading books. And overall, anime has helped Japan transfer from, starvation, getting bombed during World War II, to really using anime, to really leave its past behind and look towards the future. And these are my sources. And thank you for listening, and have a good day. Thank you.